Alright fellas, welcome back. We're heading down Paul's. We need to take this. It's a brake reservoir for a 3-door Cosworth. The one on Steve's car caught fire. I'm going to put it in a bag because I don't want to leak brake fluid in my car. I don't think it will, but it's better to be safe than sorry, isn't it? Let's go. Hello fellas, welcome back. We're off down Paul's. We're going to see Poor Steve's 3-door Cosworth that caught fire. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave a link to the other videos below. And if you want to see it when it's finished, don't forget to subscribe. But when I go down Paul's, I like to go a certain route. I go down the A169 and the A171. It's nice roads and you get to drive a bit enthusiastically. We'll be there, like, it's about a 2-hour journey for me. We're nearly there. I'll catch up with you when we get there. Check this out, I've only seen this a couple of times when I've been coming down Paul's. Where was it? Fresh eggs, check it out, where there. You just literally help yourself. Yeah, I'll show you. I need a pound. You don't get eggs that fresh in Tesco's. Let's get a Paul's.
Thank you very much.
Could you get from Ford a Cosworth wing? Because they've got holes in, haven't they? Cosworth wing.
Yeah, but they didn't come with holes in.
You couldn't buy a Cosworth
the shells
wing.
Came. We'll mention that because it's interesting, isn't it? When you bought a Cosy shell, it came with the little square holes put in. But if you ordered a wing,
it didn't.
You didn't. It just came as a wing, and you had to put the holes in.
Right. Well, I will ask that.
All right, fellas.
Hi, fellas. Welcome back. Alright fellas, welcome back. As you can see, back down Paul's, we've came to have a look at Steve's Poor 3-door Cosworth that caught fire. Looking a lot better than mine, Paul, since I was last down.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Just what a blasting and some new panels just sat on makes it look a lot different, doesn't it?
A lot different.
So I think when you kept last video, alt screening, that was still in as well.
Still in.
It? Yeah.
So everything's out the interior now as well.
Yeah, we took the dashboard out. Luckily, the dashboard in the car was mint.
Original 3-door one?
Original proper 3-door, absolutely mint condition. And I thought it had burnt it, you know, just here, where you can see that 80s there. I thought it had burnt it, you know, because when the screen was in, screen was all black. Right. With smoke. Anyway, when I took dash out, I cleaned it, and dash is absolutely mint.
Perfect, survived.
A tiniest little mark right on inside edge, but obviously once it's in and the screen's back in, you'll never see it. So we've been really, really lucky there. But yeah, it's good inside. Like.
What's them studs for? What do they hold?
They're all, you know, the wiring loom.
Oh, right.
Clips on there that screw onto them and then leave you a little clip to hold up loom in. They were all melted, but luckily I've got some of them. So, but yeah, inside's held up really, really well. Yeah, I'm pleased with it. Like,
looks like a pretty solid car as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show you under bonnet when we lift bonnet. There's a couple of little bits where we've had to. It's had a little bit of previous welding, and I've done a little bit more. But to be quite honest, you know, all these cars that people see and you lift bonnet and think, these are absolutely immaculate. There's very, very few of these cars at Fords at 30-odd-year-old that if you didn't if you sandblasted them,
you'd see all
you'd end up with some holes somewhere. You know, I mean, this. To be fair, if you remember the video, we said how solid it was, but it has blown a few holes.
Can we have a look under the bonnet?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's pretty good for its age, but you can see there,
at the end of the day, isn't it?
We've had to put a little piece, a couple of pieces in there cut it out and then flush welded in pieces, a little bit just up there. But where they all go there, it's where the seam is, so obviously water gets in on the seam, but we welded that from the back because that ends up with like a sort of 2-inch beader sealer, brush sealer that goes down it. So once it's brush sealed, it'll look perfect. You can't see.
Never see.
It's had a bit of welding before. You can see now it's been blasted. You can just see where
they all go there, don't they?
Yeah, they all go there. But to be fair, they've done they've seam welded it in. They've put the fake spot welds back in.
That's a good repair.
It's just a bit there. Look, that I'll just have to.
Will you just redo that?
I'll just cut that out, and you can see it's had a repair down there before as well, and you can see where they've done that. But again, by the time we put a bit of filler in it, just to hide the repairs, not to, not inches thick, just a small.
What miles is on the car?
60.
It's pretty low miles then.
Yeah, 60.
Not 160, doesn't it?
No, 60 or 1,000, yeah. But doesn't it look different just with a sandblast and a bit of primer?
I knew it would, but it does. Looks totally different. Different.
Because obviously Phil Steele did the blasting for us locally. I took the car down in my covered trailer.
Phil Steele, that's a canny name, isn't it?
Yeah, I said that for a blaster, yeah. Sounds like some American porn star, doesn't it? But Phil offered to do it for me, so I took it down there in my covered trailer, because obviously when you blast them, the last thing you want them is getting wet on way on if it rains. So I took it in covered trailer. Phil blasted it for me while I waited. It only took him a couple of hours, and I was pleased because he's got in every single. He's done a brilliant job, because it's like spraying. You can't get in every nook and cranny, but he's got in absolutely everywhere. Taken every bit of paint off it, and I waited in van while he did it, and he shouted me when he'd done. I came up, looked at it, and I was like,
over the moon.
Yeah, I thought brilliant. It's come up really, really nice, And then when we got it back, I put a bit of etch primer on it, and then just a quick coat of primer just to stop it rusting.
Makes sense.
Till we get it painted like. But you remember that we were touch and go whether that had stayed, didn't we? Because it was
the panel.
Yeah, that's the original one. I didn't have to change it in the end. I tapped it up a little bit. There was a couple of little bits there, just got a little bit warm and warped, just on these edges. So I straightened it with hammer and dolly. But it's perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, and he even got all in there. Look, did Phil? With plaster, he got all inside there for me to get all.
Will you wax oil it after, or maybe?
Yeah, I'll spray it all down chassis rails, and I'll do all inside at bulkhead and that before I put all dash back in, and before I put all sound ending in. Just to be quite honest, wax on the back of a bulkhead is sort of unnecessary, really. But I might as well just
peace of mind.
Yeah, just to help it.
Does no harm, does it?
No, exactly. But I'm really pleased with it. Managed to get a mint genuine bonnet, a mint pair of genuine wings. Obviously that one.
You said you had wings. Were these your wings, did you see?
No, I bought these in. I have got a pair of my own genuine wings, but
you're keeping them?
I would have used them on this if I couldn't have got any, but I put a shout out on Facebook, and
someone came
forward. Well, I got that one off one lad, this one off another. It looks horrendous because it's got the surface rust on, which most panels have that have been kicking around in people's lofts or garages for years, but all I've done at the moment, you can see I've just self-tapped them all on, just to trial fit, because I always make sure everything fits perfect before I weld them, because the trouble is, when it's completely stripped like this, the trouble with the 3-door is you haven't really got anything to line up with the bulkhead, because it's that big plastic scuttle panel, you see. Normally a bonnet lines up with something metal, so you can line the back edge of the bonnet up to something, and then your bonnet's perfectly square, so then you panel your wings up to your bonnet. Well, on 3-door it can be a bit of a pain, because you haven't really got anything to check your bonnet's perfectly in line. You can put your bonnet catch on, but then bonnet catch is so much adjustable, you can still be a mile out. So I put it all on, put that plastic scuttle in, and then I can see if I've got a lovely gap all the way around, and an even gap, it lines up perfectly all the way around with plastic scuttle. Because scuttle clips in, you see, so you know that's in the right place. And then I put all the wings on, self-tapped them on, just mainly to make sure that everything's perfect.
Lines up.
Everything lines up. So now I'm happy with this. The next stage is I'll take it all back off, seal all the inner wheel arches with that proper original Ford spray sealer, because obviously that got all sandblasted off. Then Gravitex them. and then I do all the backs of the wings while they're off. Then we'll spot weld all the wings back on, and then everything's all protected under the wing itself. All inner wheel arches will all be done again, and then put all the panels back on, spot weld them on, and then take it and get it painted. And then we don't have to, you know, all the underside's all perfect.
Aye.
Back to how it should be. I look here, got a mint
grill.
Yeah.
Where'd you get the grill?
Again, a lad on Facebook sent me a message, said he'd got a mint grill, as everybody does, you know, and when you get here you find out it's fiberglass or it's been repaired 26 times. But no, I mean, it looks
It's a good
rough,
one.
but it's never been repaired. All the lugs are intact, you know, all these lugs that break off.
Aye, mine's snapped, mine's
Yeah,
cracked.
they're all perfect, look.
Mine's cracked here as well.
Yeah, they do. Do you know why that is?
I think you mentioned it before, it's when the bonnet comes down, isn't it?
People slam the bonnets.
Aye.
If, you know, they just let go like that. And if you watch, when you shut a 3-door bonnet, even then, you could see how much that shake. It does that look. You know, when you slam it, it bounces and it cracks the grills. With a 3-door, you should, and it's only really a 3-door you do this with, because most bonnet, all I do is either drop them real gently like that, not just drop it from here and let you go bang, or just put your palms of your hands on there, so you don't put dents in, and just gently push it.
That's why I dropped mine, because I'm scared of denting it.
Yeah, if you put palms of your hands on and just put...
I'll do that.
Well, most of it is as well, you see, people don't have the bonnet catch set right.
So
and if you haven't got it perfectly in the middle, they're hard to shut. A proper bonnet, when it's lined up correct, you should just be able to go click real gently and it'll just click shut.
I'll have to check mine now. I'm going to test that when I get home.
You'll be out with spanners tonight, just in it.
I'll never shoot again if I start messing about with it.
Then there were bonnet pins in it. So yeah, look, I've got a mint grill.
New bumper as well, that looks mint as well.
It is, yeah. I mean, Stephen, who owns the car, I sort of did tell him, really, you know, the 3-door parts are hard to get now. You never see them being broken up, you see, that's the trouble. And I pointed to him, I said, I'm struggling to get a bonnet, Stephen. I said,
bumper?
Sorry, a bumper. I said, but there's 2 on eBay. There was 2 at the time. There was a silver one, but he had the front and the back bumper, and then there was this white one, and you can see on there somebody's painted the inserts red, obviously an 80s thing.
Aye. Nice.
Obviously had an 80s afro haircut and all that, and put an horrible red stripe on. But I said to Stephen, we'll change the inserts anyway. But he paid 1,550 quid for that.
Meant that, isn't it? I remember when 500 bumpers were cheaper than that.
Well, they were, yeah.
Aye.
But the thing is, we spoke about it earlier, 3-door bumpers are harder to get now than 500, because you see quite a lot of 500 ones, because they reproduced them, you see. And of course they produced a load for the race cars when people were building race cars, so there was a lot available, but they never reproduced the 3-door.
The 3-door ones.
And I remember, I think we've said it before in another video, I remember when I was a breaker, I maybe had 4 or 5 bumpers always on a rack at any one time, and I was selling them for 150, 200
just to get
quid.
rid of them.
You know, because that's what they were worth back then. You know, and this is only maybe 7, 8 years ago.
I was going to say, not
that
long
long.
ago.
And now, as I say, he paid 1,550 quid for that, plus delivery. We were a little bit disappointed, because I did say to him, the fog lights and indicators are with it. And I said, the fog lights and indicators look good. Well, they're worth sort of 250 quid for fog lights and indicators. So I said to him, you know, we can maybe sell them, get 250 quid back.
Right.
Because obviously the ones in his bumper are perfect. But unfortunately, that fog light's really badly corroded inside. The lens is knackered, but
That's come along well, mine really is.
yeah, I'm pleased with it, really pleased.
I'll just check this camera. It's still good. So where's the engine at the minute?
Engines at Paul Bulmer's. He does all the road car engines and that for me. So he's got that. He stripped it. It was fine, as we sort of expected. I mean, obviously, gaskets and seals had to be replaced because all rubber seals had gone hard because of heat. And he took engine to bits, and it wasn't bad by any stretch of imagination, you know, but he sort of looked at it and said, well, while it's in bits, it's a bit stupid to put it back together with its old shells and old oil pump, and even though it's only done 60-odd thousand, like he said, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's a bit like the old saying, when you take a gearbox out, you would never not put a brand new clutch in while the gearbox is out. So I spoke to Stephen and said, look, there's nothing actually drastically wrong with it. There is signs of wear because it's done 60 odd thousand. But anyway, I sort of said to Stephen, if it was mine, while it's in bits now, own it out, a new set of pistons and rings, new shells, oil pump, and then it's a brand new engine.
It does make sense. It does make sense.
The difference is only really the price of the parts to putting it back together as it was, or completely putting a brand new rebuilt engine in it. So we agreed and said, yeah, it's silly not to. So
not massive money for the engine parts, really, is it?
No, you probably
couple £100, 500 quid.
You've sort of 400 or 500 quid for pistons and rings. 250 quid for a gasket set. Your shells, your oil pump. You're probably about £1,000 with everything all in, head bolts and everything. But that's the thing. It's 1,000 quid now to completely put a brand new engine in it, over and above putting it back together as it was.
Makes sense.
It is. It's stupid not to. So he said, yeah, rebuild the engine. So Blue's on with that now. Call him Blue, by the way. That's his nickname. He's doing that for us. He's doing two because he's doing one for this 500 that's above us now. So that should be back. I would say probably end of next week. So while I'm hoping to get this ready for paint by end of next week, so then I can see if Dibsy can fit it in and paint this for us. While this is at paint shop, I can build all engine back up on stand. I've got all brand new Coney suspension in there ready to go back on it because the front struts had got quite hot and all seals had gone. And again, I said to Stephen, do you really want to put oil shockers back on? So we agreed, brand new Coneys. And then I said, if we put it front on,
you might as well do the back.
This is the trouble. Where do you stop? But common sense says you never, why would you put a pair of brand new Coneys on front and your old
ones on the back?
Knackered shackers on back. Because even though only 60 odd thousand miles, they've still been on car 30 odd years. So we again agreed. He's been very good. He's got a lot of common sense. He understands that you don't put half a job into it. So
I noticed you'd had some bits as well cleaned by, was it JC Aqua Blasting?
Yeah, he's done all them.
Mind the parts.
I'll show you them if you want. I've got them in there.
Can we have a look?
Yeah.
I'll get the camera. So are these all cast aluminium parts?
All aluminium, yeah. Look at that.
Wow, that's came up well, lad, hasn't it? It almost looks painted.
It does, doesn't it? Because he tells me there's different levels of how you can do it. I mean, I've just got an old sandblasting cabinet. I just whack it and that's it. But he puts a degreaser in with it,
right.
So it cleans them up, and that's fabulous, isn't it?
It is, aye. So what's he use? Like a sand and a water and degreaser mix?
Yeah, I could. I'm actually looking into buying one of them myself.
Have you?
Yeah, because he just took such a fabulous job, and he did all.
You get carried away though, you'd end up blasting everything, wouldn't you?
Blast all my tools and everything. But even manifolds for turbo, look at that.
Aye. That's just cast steel.
Yeah.
Cast.
Look how that looks fantastic, doesn't it?
They look painted.
They do, don't they?
Aye. They look mint.
But what I'm off to do, and I asked him if it was alright to do it, and he said it's fine. I've got all them clear lacquers and that there, the paint scheme.
Oh, right.
So just dust them real lightly with a matte lacquer.
Right.
And then that keeps them like that forever.
Preserves them.
It stops weather getting at them. And the worst thing is, when you've had everything blasted and you touch them with your hands, the oil off your skin goes onto the product. And then you look at it a few days later and you get black fingerprint marks all over.
Really?
Yeah, you get it on and the oils go into the alley.
So me just handling that?
Well, I'll degrease it again. I always degrease everything, and then I'll just give them a real light dust coat of lacquer, clear lacquer, and then it keeps them mint, and you can handle them then, and it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, he's done a fabulous job with them for us. A real nice job. And then obviously all these bits I'm blasting. I'll have to do some of them again because I did them 2 weeks ago and forgot about them. So I'll just sandblast them and then they'll all go off and get zinc plated. Like they were originally. All these were zinc plated when we restored it last time, but obviously they've got tarnish, so we'll blast all them again. And
you just blast them in your blaster here?
Blast them in there and then just send them off to Alan Chrome at Pocklington. They do all zinc plating for us.
It's coming on well, mind.
Like rocker cover, I've got to get that done. Because this, if you remember, was completely covered in melted plastic and spark plugs. You remember all the spark plug lines had melted all over it. And I was amazed when it came back.
Look at that. Ah, it does look well.
So I can get that painted now and then get the top machined back off.
Will you paint that yourself? Or will
I
you...
might do, yeah, I might paint it in here really as mess about and then just go and get...
Will you machine it yourself? You've got a milling machine, haven't you?
No, I've got a lathe.
Have you got a lathe,
Yeah,
not a milling
I've got
machine?
But I think probably Blue, who does my engines, can probably do that for me. So yeah, it's all it's coming together, and then we've got all brand new Cornish suspension and that there. Yeah, this is
brand new cornies, eh?
yeah. So we've got all them brand new to go on.
What springs is he putting on? Is he putting like standard springs?
We've got
or
some special rubber ones. No,
standard height or?
Yeah, standard height. We get all these things from Graham Good Racing. What Graham does, they're uprated, but standard ride height.
Right.
So it'll drive.
Are they a bit stiffer?
Yeah, so it'll drive a lot nicer, but standard ride height. And as I say, we mentioned we've got they up like Christmas, isn't it?
Some new rear shocks.
Yeah, got all brand new rears as well.
Aye. Nice, nice.
So I mean, he's spending a fair bit of money on it, but at the same time, to be fair, you know, it's going to have a brand new rebuilt engine, brand new suspension, so everything's going to be
lovely car.
Everything will be brand new on it by the time he gets it back. So yeah, we're we're getting everything. We've got all brand new ABS sensors there because they were obviously melted.
Do they remake these now?
Yeah, Graham Good again has had them done.
Because they weren't remaking them for a while and they were hard to get parts, weren't they?
A nightmare to get them second hand because they corroded, they rusted in on that metal collar and you couldn't get them out. And they always broke.
I didn't know they were remaking them, no.
Yeah, Graham's been doing them a while, and then obviously the original rubber brake flexes, you can't get them anymore, but Graham does a kit that's coated black. They're braided, but they've been coated in black.
So they look standard.
Yeah, as much as you can do.
So it's better than the standard ones.
Well, they'll last a lot longer. So we've got all them. So
come together.
Is, mate. Yeah, we're happy with it. Yeah, we're pleased with it. So like I said, once it gets painted, bring it back, and then start the best bit, which is putting them back together. It's always the better bit, isn't it?
That's it, fellas. Thanks for watching. I'll leave a link to Paul's social media below. You've got a couple of Facebook pages, Paul, haven't you?
Yeah, as we usually mention, I've got my Paul Linfoot Racing, which is more the race cars, and then the RS500 owners page, which covers 3 doors as well. So there's always plenty going on them too.
Alright. Thanks for watching, fellas. I'll also leave my Instagram below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Spot on, mate.
That'll do.
That'll do.
Aye.
Alright. I'll take some pictures.
Aye.
Alright.